The 4 saint rulers who had come to kill Xianxia were all experienced warriors. When they felt the cold wind blowing towards them, they immediately held their breaths and a barrier appeared on the surface of their body. This was a measure to prevent being poisoned. However, when they felt a cool breeze blowing towards them, the peacock powder had already touched their skin and quickly seeped into their skin. "Ah, my leg!" The shortest middle-aged man shouted in shock. He felt that his legs couldn't move, as if they were frozen. The divine power in his legs couldn't circulate. Soon after, the other 3 began to howl in fear as well. The same was true for them as their lower bodies gradually lost consciousness. This is a strange petrified poison that has existed for a long time. A person screamed. His face was twisted because of fear. His face was already somewhat pale, and soon after, it became snow-white. In the blink of an eye, his entire body turned into a white stone sculpture, and his expression froze. Not long after, the 4 saints turned into 4 white stone sculptures, falling to the ground. Xianxia released his flying discs and quickly caught them. Then, he used soul-absorbing devil spell and devouring magic kung fu to coordinate with each other and extracted and devoured their souls. This strange poison is indeed powerful. If I had refined the peacock powder again, the speed of petrification should have been faster. Xianxia struck a stone statue with his palm, turning it into powder. After being petrified, although the stone was very sturdy, Xianxia had a lot of power and he could break it with one palm. If it was properly preserved, it would not rot away even after many years. He seemed to be able to devour more souls, fill them up with divine deity, and let the divine deity refine on its own. Like this, before long, he would be able to obtain the Emperor's soul, and he was very much looking forward to his own abilities as an Emperor's soul. Earlier, there were still many peacock powder that had yet to be used up. He felt like he could deal with 2 or 3 more Saint Masters, but what made him depressed was that even after waiting for an hour, there was still no saint coming. Could it be that they knew that I killed those 4 Saint Realm experts and didn't dare come and find me? Xianxia stayed on the small island, waiting impatiently. It should be, as long as they are not stupid, they understand that dealing with you is not easy. The weak and powerful Saint Ruler would be killed by you if they went to look for you. The strong of Lord Stage would come, or if they had too many Saint Rulers, you would escape. They might already have gathered together and are discussing how to capture you. Long Shui said, "Wait another 2 hours. If I don't come, I'll go to Sacred Water Heavenly Realm." Xianxia sighed. He was waiting here for others to come chase and kill him, but no one came, while a large group of people came before him. On a huge island in the Southern Ocean, over 100 holy justices were gathered in a luxurious hall. All of them were heavyweights and had the same goal, which was to kill Xianxia and obtain the divine deity bestowed to them by the Hell Devil Emperor. If one wanted to obtain the qualifications to chase and kill Xianxia, they had to first be loyal to the Hell Devil Emperor and sell out their soul. However, they wouldn't be restricted by the Hell Devil Emperor for a lifetime, because with divine deity, they could still head to the God's realm in the future. Just as Long Shui had guessed, although they knew that Xianxia had not moved, they did not go over immediately. There were many examples where it was extremely difficult for Xianxia to kill them, and to kill Xianxia was as easy as cutting grass. It seems like these 2 divine deity are not easy to obtain, for more have died. Person sighed. Didn't Eagle Emperor say before that there was a very powerful white dragon with that brat? But Hell Devil Envoy said that the white dragon had already lost its divine deity. Other than having a tough mouth, the rest of it is very weak, at most only at the level of a saint. Eagle Emperor was also frightened by the white dragon that came back from the dead, adding that brat's green dragon demon-slain broadsword and heaven-earth killing method. It is normal for Eagle Emperor that didn't know the truth to be scared. But a Hell Devil Envoy was taken down. One of them answered in a low voice, "Xianxia has a divine tool and a divine art to deal with evil spirits. If the power of hell can deal with Xianxia, Hell Devil Emperor will also use 2 divine deity to place a bounty on him." Amongst this group of sacred masters, there was one person that everyone was not very familiar with, and that was Jiang Sheng. Jiang Sheng had already sneaked in. He was very clear about Xianxia's and Long Shui's strength. There was nothing strange about Xianxia killing Hell Devil Envoy with the power of the demon-suppressing orb. He had seen the might of that holy devil-suppressing seal before. However, the 4 sacred masters who had chased after Xianxia previously were all quite strong. Jiang Shang did not think that Xianxia could kill them that easily either. Everyone estimated the time. Those 4 died not too long after they arrived. Through their soul orbs, they weren't able to consume much of their divine energy before they were instantly killed. Thus, none of the saints in the South Sea dared to go. Hell Devil Envoy said that after a period of time, an important character will come from Hell and teach us the method to conceal our presence. We won't be discovered by Xianxia in advance, and he won't be able to escape. The Hell Devil Envoy of the East Sea had already returned to Hell. They said that the one who came from Hell seemed to be some kind of demon general of Hell. From the sound of it, he seems to be very powerful. Hearing their conversation, Jiang Shang secretly pinched his thumb ring and sent a sound transmission to them. Big Lion. There's important news. This was a voice transmission magical equipment. As a divine craftsman, the magical equipment that could be used in such a long-distance connection was just something he had casually crafted. What big news is this? So many days have passed and you haven't killed a single skeletal dragon devil envoy. The only one that was killed was that brat's. Old man, you can't even compare to a little brat. You're too disgraceful. Hearing Qi Shi's mocking voice, Jiang Shang was very unhappy. If that brat did not kill one of the skeletal dragon devil envoys, the other skeletal dragon devil envoys would not have escaped so easily. I can't find them now, but I received news that the Hell Devil Emperor would send a demon general. Really, where are you right now? I will immediately go there and avenge myself. Hearing that, Qi Shi's killing intent rose. You don't have a green dragon demon-slain broadsword? Aren't you afraid of these guys? Jiang Shang chuckled. What's there to be afraid of? Back then, if it wasn't for that damned place like the Infernal Realm, and the fact that Hell Devil Emperor attacked me secretly, I wouldn't have been caught by those bastards. Qi Shi's voice was filled with hatred. Until now, he still hated the Hell Devil Emperor a lot. Jiang Shang gave Qi Shi an address, and then continued to listen to these people discuss some secret news. I heard that Heavenly Dragon Realm of the Heavenly Dragon Realm is also here. Their competitiveness is really high. The other great emperors from the realm of Flame Heaven will be arriving soon as well. However, this matter mainly depends on luck, and that Xianxia won't be easy to deal with. Jiang Shang did not hear much useful information. He only wanted to find a skeletal dragon devil envoy to kill him, otherwise he would be laughed at by Qi Shi. The group of holy knights dispersed, but they were all waiting for the demon generals to arrive in the city. At that time, the holy knights from other places would also come here to learn the concealment technique passed down in the Hell Devil Emperor. Xianxia waited for 2 hours, but still no saint came over. He could only give up waiting, used his spatial energy, and teleported to the sacred water Heavenly Realm, where he appeared on a small island. The last time he came here, he came with Dongfang Xinyue, and it was right here that he said goodbye to Dongfang Xinyue. It had been a while since then, and Dongfang Xinyue was no longer here. Dongfang Xinyue and Dongfang Jing both had some of the vermilion bird's bloodline in their bodies, but the problem with Dongfang Xinyue's bloodline had caused her to stagnate. She had come here to find the vermilion bird. The small island was very safe. There were no traces of a fight on it, and there were no signs of giant sea beasts in the vicinity. Long Shui brought Pearl and Kong bailing out. It really is the sacred water Heavenly Realm, the world of water. Kong bailing had initially wanted to jump into the sea and play with the pearls as well, but she was worried that the poison in her body would leak out. Hence she could only stay on the shore. Watching Long Shui play with the pearls, she was very happy. Xianxia took out the demon goddess pagoda, holding many holy monarchs in it. He immediately extracted the souls of these holy lords who wanted to kill him, and threw all of their bodies to the prison emperor who was in the highest level. After he fattened the Hell King, he would refine them into a blood pill. On the other side, there was still the Hell Devil Envoy. He pulled out the Hell Devil Envoy's soul and the body turned into black mist, being purified by the god Pagoda. Xianxia's soul, which had been devoured by the divine sense sea, was trapped within his divine deity. Although his divine deity looked small, his absorbing power was extremely strong, and his refining ability was even more terrifying. He needed some jaded essence elixir, and he did not have much spirit liquid left. Now that he was also refining those souls, it was not suitable for him to start refining pills, so he could only use this time to condense some spirit liquid. After Long Shui and the others got tired of playing outside, they entered the ring. The reason why Long Shui told them about the affairs of the Nine Heaven world was so that they could get familiar with the place after going to Tion. In only 10 days, a large amount of the divine soul that Xianxia had devoured before was completely refined by his divine deity and turned into divine power. How do you know that your soul has become an emperor soul? I've seen your soul before. It doesn't look like there's anything special about it. Xianxia asked Long Shui. He often trained in the God's join method with her divine soul and did not feel anything special about her. It's not normal for you to not be able to sense anything, because Emperor Soul normally do not have any special appearances, but when you are strong enough, you will know that you possess the special ability. With your current soul, even if it's 10 times stronger, it would look the same as it is now. Long Shui said. Xianxia already had a lot of spirit liquid, so when he started to copy the Jade God Lingji, he only made around 40, but that was already enough. If he was later to become familiar with concocting Tier 7 Immortal pills, his pill refining level would be much higher. Xianxia had already refined all of the Jade God Lingji into a Jade God pellet. Although the difficulty of refining this kind of pellet was very high, he had still overcome all the difficulties in concocting it, and in the beginning he had failed once but failed with less pellets. But after that, he was able to produce 3 pellets per furnace, which brought him to a total of over 100 pellets. He ate a few pills which still had a slight effect on the improvement of his soul, but it was not a big one. Therefore, he gave some pearls to Kong Bailing, and after they were consumed, they had a pretty good effect. I can concoct Tier 7 Immortal pills now. Let's start refining some snacks for me. Long Shui said pitifully. I'm already very tired of always eating Saint Beast meat these days. The snacks that Long Shui was talking about were just the Tianlong Dan and Sacred Animal Dan. To Long Shui, the 7th grade Tianlong Dan and Sacred Animal Dan were indeed just snacks. Xianxia only smiled, then started to condense spirit liquid, and made some heavenly dragon fruits and sacred animal fruit. After tossing and turning it around for a month, he refined over 100 pills, but with Long Shui's speed of eating, it would already be good if he could sustain it for a few days. Since you came to the sacred water heavenly realm, you do not plan on looking for the little girl? Long Shui asked. She came here to search for the reincarnated vermilion bird. I wonder if she found it. Xianxia said. Of course I will look for her. It's just that I don't know how to find her. She and I have master-servant contract S. But only when we are close by do we sense each other. Pearl told me that there were quite a few humans here. She asked about the creatures in the water and found out that there were many humans nearby. When Xianxia was refining pills, Pearl would often go into the deep ocean with Long Shui to play, and Pearl was originally a creature from the deep ocean, so she quickly gained a better understanding of sacred water heavenly realm. Xianxia had been flying away from the island for a very long time, and all he saw was the sea. He had been flying for 3 days straight in the direction that Pearl had indicated. The Pearl was right, there were definitely people gathering in that direction. Xianxia had already found them. This was not an island but a house that was floating in the water. There were many different shapes of houses, some big and some small, floating randomly on the water. How strange! There is a large expanse of water here that cannot be moved. Could it be that this sort of special place is suitable for floating houses? Long Shui said. What was even weirder was not only this. Xianxia saw that many people could walk on the surface of the water without even needing to fly. However, when he landed and wanted to walk on the water like the others, he found that his feet would sink into the water. Lil bro, are you from the other heavenly realms? If you want to stand on the surface of the water, you have to buy a special pair of shoes. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're not standing on the water. This is just a form of entertainment for bored people. An old man from the shop smiled amiably and said, I have some shoes here for sale. If you want to get sick of it, I can give you a pair. It was actually free of charge, which made Xianxia a little incredulous. After he entered the shop, the old man brought out many different style shoes. At this time, Long Shui popped out and asked the elder to take out female shoes. This old man was very good, laughing while taking out a pair of beautiful female shoes for Long Shui to choose from. Long Shui chose a pair of pink shoes, and after thanking him, he went to the water surface to jump about. After chatting with the old man for a while, Xiang found out that these shoes were made of a special material. There were a lot of these materials here. When the old man had nothing better to do, he would make these shoes. His shop was at the edge of the shop. Although many people would pass by, this place was not the most prosperous place. For the sake of leaving a good impression on the customers, he would gift these shoes. The old man's shop mainly sold food. All of them were just fish, mainly selling a dish called Golden Jade Fish S. After Long Shui heard this, he hastily rushed in from the outside and asked the old man to take out the most delicious dishes here, because this place was also used for trading using Holy Stone S, and what Xianxia did not lack were Holy Stone S. He did not use the Holy Stone S, which he earned from selling them much. This shop looks pretty big. Why is it only you, Grandpa? Long Shui asked curiously. At this time, she looked like an innocent girl. How could they tell that she was Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord that had existed since the primordial era? The old man took out many middle-tier golden jade fish S, which looked like a type of fish made of gold and jade. However, the old man's superb cooking skills, as well as various types of delicious juice, made the fish look delicious. Just by smelling the fragrance, one could not help but swallow their saliva. Long Shui had already started to wolf down his food, praising himself while eating, making the old man unable to hide his smile. Xiang carefully sampled the fish. These fishes were indeed delicious and tasty. Moreover, they also had a faint Holy Spirit power. If it was in Dition, a single fish could be sold for a lot of money. Old Grandpa, you still haven't answered my question, Long Shui asked. The old man did not want to answer this question, but he was in a good mood at the moment, so he sighed. I've been in this shop for 10,000 years, and some old customers have already eaten here for a few thousand years. Although these fish are not of the highest grade, but after I add in some seasonings, they are comparable to Tier 1 Immortal pills. Long Shui nodded her head repeatedly. When she started to eat, she felt that it was very delicious, and the dozens of plates on the table were quickly cleaned up by her. Originally, there were many waiters here. 2 of them were my disciples. After I passed my skills down to them, they ran off to Xianxia City and opened their own shop, and even slandered me, saying that my fish were caught using poison. In order to achieve their goal, they even planned for a large number of people to be poisoned, and thousands of them were poisoned at that time. There aren't that many people here, but because of my shop in the past, it was very lively here. While talking, the old man had already shed tears, which made Long Shui very angry. These 2 disciples of yours are too bad. I must teach them a good lesson. Long Shui slammed the table and stood up, his killing intent dense. Elder, where is Xianxia City? Xianxia asked. If what the old man said was true, he would conveniently take care of those 2 fellows. You 2 forget it. I'm also a Saint Lord, but I can't afford to provoke them. They're big figures now, and Xianxia City isn't easy to reach either. I need 1,000,000 kilograms of holy stone to go in with them, the old man said. It's fine, Xianxia laughed. 1,000,000 kilograms of holy stone meant nothing to him. The old man had opened a shop here for many years, and his judgment of others was very accurate. Xianxia and Long Shui were from another sky realm. To be able to casually come here from another sky, they must definitely be extraordinary. But he did not want the 2 of them to get into big trouble for him. Under Long Shui's questioning, the old man still told Xianxia and Long Shui the location of Xianxia City. So Xianxia City is deep within the sea. I really want to take a look. Long Shui's face was full of anticipation. Old man, have you ever heard of a vermilion bird? Xianxia asked. This old man knew a lot of things, and indeed did not disappoint Xianxia. I've heard of her. She's a strong fire attribute beast emperor, but she's actually appeared in the sacred water heavenly realm. It's extremely strange. I've only heard of her. As for where she is, I have no idea. The old man replied. After that, Xianxia described Dongfang Xinyue's appearance to the elder, wanting to ask if he had seen this elder before. The elder could only shake his head. Dongfang Xinyue was likely to change his appearance, so even if the old man saw him, he would not have an impression of him. After Xianxia and Long Shui bid farewell to the old man, they went back into the ocean. The old man did not take their holy stone, but Xianxia had secretly left behind a storage bag which contained many holy stone. Xianxia and Long Shui both possessed very strong powers, so diving into the deep sea was not a difficult task. It was just that the heavenly sea city was very deep. Pearl and Kong Bailing woke up at this moment. The Pearl that was familiar with the deep sea shouted that they wanted to come out, and Xianxia had no choice but to agree. After coming out, the Pearl released a large shell, and inside it was a room filled with pearls, coral, and Beck's decorations. Long Shui and Kong Bailing had seen it before, but it was the first time Xianxia entered. So beautiful! Xianxia touched the top of his head and felt that it was very sturdy. This is something that has been with me for many years. It is now a saint artifact. Even if it is a Saint Realm Master's attack, it can still block me for a period of time. The last time I was sleeping, I was forced open by a group of fellows and they grabbed me out. Pearl was lying on a rocking chair, indicating for Xianxia to give it a try. It would take some time to dive into the depths of the sea, but in this room, laughing and joking with a beautiful young lady, time passed very quickly. We're almost there. Let's go outside. They only saw a very intense light below. They could already clearly see a huge city at the bottom of the lake, enveloped in a half-circle of transparent light. From above, it looked very spectacular. This was the city of Sky Sea, located at the bottom of the ocean. Entering this city would require a high price, so it was not surprising that it would be difficult to construct. Xianxia couldn't understand why he would build such a city here. Wasn't it good to build a floating city on the water's surface? However, when Xianxia got closer, he realized that the reason why the city was built was to absorb the Holy Spirit Qi, and the biggest benefit should be the power inside the city. Pearl heard that it required millions of kilograms of holy stone to enter, so she entered into the ring. She didn't want Xianxia to waste so much money for her. Xianxia arrived at the city gate. After handing in the 1 million Jin holy stone, he could enter, and there was no time limit to how long he could stay inside. However, after coming out, he would have to pay a new price to enter. To Xianxia, a 1 million kilogram holy stone wasn't really much, but to go in and out a few times was still a bit of a pain, so people that went in rarely came out. Entering this kind of underwater city, Xianxia found out that most of the people here had the water attribute. Although there were pills for sale, they were all pills bought from other heaven regions. The environment of the sacred water heavenly realm was not suitable for the production of Alchemist, so most of the creatures that were born here cultivated the water attribute physique, thus pills were extremely expensive. There were quite a few people here, and most of them were quite strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought so many holy stone here. Quickly go and inquire about the store that sells golden jade fish. Long Shui urged Xianxia. She was anxious to avenge the old man. Xianxia did not expect the shop that sold golden jade fishes to be very famous. He merely asked casually and found out where the shop was located. The hotel that sold golden jade fishes was very big, and it was located in a very good location as well. Tianhai City was not a small city to be reckoned with. It could accommodate many people, and the power within it could not be underestimated. Having a shop like this meant that the owner of the inn was extremely capable. Therefore, Xianxia suspected that the old man's disciple had been poached by a large power and secretly supported by them. The pills in sacred water heavenly realm were very expensive, much more expensive than those in the saint realm after the rapid expansion, because there were almost no alchemists here. Therefore, things that could help in raising one's strength were easy to sell. For example, those golden jade fish S. They contained rich immortal powers that could help in raising one's strength. The city was very big, and it would take Xianxia a long time to walk to the bustling and high-end region. And the reason why there were no transmission array here was because the city was extremely stable, so it was very difficult for some weaker people to come to the city, and even if they could, it would take a lot of effort and time. As a result, it was not easy for people who stayed there for a long time. The vermilion bird is only a legendary existence. Many people have only heard of it. I'm afraid only those experts know where the vermilion bird is. Xianxia said. You've been here for quite some time. I wonder if the other sacred masters will chase after you from other places. Long Shui said, the Hell Devil Emperor is extremely powerful. Maybe the bounty has already been placed here. Hell Devil Emperor should know that I'm here. But to quickly spread the news of my location, he needs a lot of Hell Devil envoys. These demon envoys are definitely very valuable to Hell Devil Emperor. He doesn't have absolute confidence in defeating me, so he shouldn't send them over. Xianxia was not too worried about this matter. At most, he would go to other heavenly regions. Although those Hell Devil envoy were powerful, it was not as easy to travel to the heavenly realm like Xianxia. They would have to spend a lot of effort and be very troublesome to do so. Now, the Hell Devil Emperor must know that Xianxia's use of space was extraordinary. If he was unable to stop Xianxia from doing so, when they came to the Sacred Water Heavenly Realm and Xianxia went to another heaven realm, they could torture a person to death. After walking for a good half a day, Xianxia finally arrived at the inn called Golden Saint Hotel. Standing at the door, Xianxia could smell a very familiar smell of meat. The smell of the golden jade fish that the old man had cooked. Humph, those two disciples are really not people. After secretly learning them, even if I secretly come here and start my own school, it's nothing. However, I've destroyed the old man's name tag, so I must fiercely teach them a lesson. Long Shui suddenly came out from the ring and stood behind Xianxia. Leave the matter of destroying the place to me. Just follow behind me and watch. Long Shui sent a sound transmission to Xianxia, then stepped into the Golden Saint Hotel. Upon entering the hotel, Long Shui attracted many gazes. There were many beautiful women here, but very few of them had a unique aura, making everyone curious about her origins. When Xianxia entered the Golden Saint Hotel, he could see that the things inside must be very expensive, because the people here were the stronger ones in the city. Young lady, do you need anything to eat? A handsome man hurriedly walked out from the counter. He should be the shopkeeper here. What's the most expensive and tasty thing in your place? Long Shui's voice carried a tinge of coldness, as though she was a rancor with pride. Please go to the 5th floor where the most expensive and best items are. The shopkeeper immediately laughed apologetically, because the faint aura Long Shui gave off gave him a very oppressive feeling. Long Shui frowned. I still have to go up. However, she still walked up, and Xianxia silently followed behind her. They arrived at the highest level and entered a luxurious private room. The 5th floor was a relatively tall building. From the windows, one could see many bustling streets filled with people. When Long Shui arrived, a handsome waiter immediately walked over and handed over a menu. There was only one page and there were 20 menus listed. Long Shui pointed to the cheapest one. Do you only want this silver jade immortal soup? Seeing that Long Shui had only ordered one, the waiter secretly disdained in his heart. This silver jade 8 immortal soup was the cheapest one on the menu, and it was even a soup, but his face was still filled with smiles. Even the cheapest one would cost over 100,000 kilograms. Long Shui shook his head and said, I don't want this. But other than the cheapest silver jade 8 immortal soup, give me 2 of the other 19 dishes. There were only 2 people who needed so much at one time. Ever since this hotel opened, they had never seen such a large amount of money. Even some of the rich and powerful people in the city were never this extravagant. Long Shui looked at Xianxia and indicated for him to take out some holy stone. This is for you, hurry up and get it for me. Although your food is quite expensive, if it's delicious, then it's nothing. Long Shui took the brick-sized holy stone from Xianxia's hand and threw it to the waiter. Just the rewards alone was so much, it scared the waiter. He had seen the biggest customer before, but at most they only gave him a few taels of holy stone. The waiter immediately expressed his thanks and then quickly left. He was extremely curious. He had been in this city for a long time, but he had never heard of any family having such a wealthy young miss. Golden jade fish, 1 piece costs 1,000,000 kilograms. Let's see if it's worth this price. Long Shui laughed and said, If it's delicious, I'll eat even more. Xianxia looked at the menu. Other than the silver jade 8 immortal soup, the other 19 dishes were all golden jade fish s, and each dish required 1,000,000 caddies of holy stone s, which was a completely different method among 19 dishes. From the looks of the names, they seemed to be very similar to the old man's methods, except that the old man's dishes were golden jade fish s, not that high quality. There were quite a few famous families in this hotel, so it didn't take long for news of the heroic eldest young miss making her move to spread. The dishes that Long Shui had ordered amounted to almost 40 million kilograms of holy stone, and all of these were for eating. Just by eating a meal, he had used up a lot of food. This alarmed the owner of the inn, who hurried over to the private room where Long Shui and Long Shui were. Furthermore, she was very strong, so the owner of the inn could not be worried about serving them food. Furthermore, if he were to eat an overbearing meal in the heavenly sea city, the consequences would be severe, and the owner of this Golden Jade restaurant was not someone to be trifled with. You too. These are the dishes you ordered. The owner was a slightly fat middle-aged man. He looked very simple and honest, but when he entered, he released waves of god power to check out Xianxia's and his strength, which left a very bad impression on others, and he thought that Xianxia and Long Shui would not notice it. This is our wine as a gift. These fish are all golden jade fish. This kind of fish is made from golden jade fish. It requires 10,000 years to evolve. The meat's fresh and beautiful. Moreover, it contains an extremely rich amount of holy energy. Please enjoy your meal. The boss had a smile on his face as he introduced the various golden jade fishes on the table. Long Shui looked at the plates of delicious golden jade fish and could not wait any longer. It was just that she did not want this nagging boss to see how she ate. I remember that only the top of the golden jade fish could sell golden jade fish. Many years ago I had once eaten it, Xianxia said. However, he quickly recovered and smiled. That's right, but that old sir, in order to pursue greater benefits, he used poison to raise the fishes, which caused a lot of people to be poisoned. Right now, all the golden jade fish are from the hands of his 2 disciples. Luckily, his disciples are honest people. They did not go down the wrong path and were able to pass this skill down. Not long after the shopkeeper left, Long Shui started to eat crazily. Xianxia only ate 2, and quickly dealt with the rest. This kind of golden jade fish is really quite good. Long Shui praised. His face was filled with aftertaste. Obviously, he had not eaten enough. 38 million holy stone. Didn't you come to ruin the battle? What are you planning to do? Xianxia curled his lips. A holy saint just entered this hotel. Looks like the owner is worried about us eating an overbearing meal. Many people in the hotel were discussing about this matter. A few of the more influential people wanted to see Long Shui, but they were stopped by the boss, afraid that these people would cause trouble. I still want to eat it. It's too delicious. Long Shui licked the meat on his plate. Previously, he was filled with righteous indignation and said that he wanted to ruin the scene. How about this? I will order another table, then use the Heaven Tour method to peek at their production process, and also take a look at where the golden jade fish they raise is located. Hee hee, you understand. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. Fine, I don't lack holy stone anyway, Xianxia said. Long Shui called the waiter outside in, and told him to make another table. When this news was spread out, the disciples of the famous sects in the restaurant immediately went into an uproar. They felt ashamed of themselves, because they had already lost nearly 40 million holy stone and now they were calling for another table. Long Shui used the Heaven Tour method to enter the hotel's secret room. It was the kitchen, and she saw 2 men busy handling the golden jade saints. Xianxia also wanted to see how this fish was made. He also wanted to see how it managed to sneak into the kitchen like how Long Shui did. The ones inside were the old man's 2 ungrateful disciples. Big brother, could that girl be eating an overlord's meal or something? Almost over 100 million holy stone. A slightly shorter man said. Probably not. Didn't the boss already say that he invited a saint? If he doesn't give the holy stone, then he can't leave the hotel. The big brother said. They just came down from above and didn't go to that old guy's store. However, after that old guy was set up by us, no one dared to go. Hee hee. Of course, that old man is really an idiot. If we had investigated our origins back then, he wouldn't have ended up like that, haha. Long Shui was furious when she heard it, but she kept her cool. She felt that she had to be even more ruthless than before to help the elder take revenge. As expected of the boss. His plan was so good that after the old man's cooking was tricked over, he would destroy him and become the one in charge of our family. The owner has earned a lot of holy stone. This kind of golden jade fish costs over 100,000 caddies each, and after going through some cooking with ingredients, it would at most be 200,000 caddies. He actually sold them for 1,000,000 caddies each, and he even sold quite a few of them, especially today. Hearing the conversation between the two, Long Shui and Xianxia felt like they had been cheated, but now they knew they would definitely not suffer such a loss. Why haven't the golden jade fish arrived yet? The big brother took out a communication jade symbol paper and shouted. There aren't many hotels left. We need to go to the fishing grounds for more. The jade talisman emitted a sound. Second brother, go get it. Hearing about the fish farm, Long Shui became excited and secretly followed that second brother. The fish farm was not far from here, and it was located in the hotel's backyard, in a large pond. There were many guards there, and there were also a few large arrays protecting it. Long Shui pulled Xianxia's hand, and Xianxia immediately understood what she meant. If he were to be targeted by her big craving dragon, his fate could be imagined. Very quickly, the two brothers began to cook the golden jade fish s, and the process was memorized by Long Shui. It's about time. I can cook it myself in the future. Long Shui giggled. Don't think that my holy stone is so easy to earn. When the golden jade fish arrived, Xianxia only ate 2, while the others were all given to Long Shui. After eating, Xianxia called the boss over. This fish is not bad. It's worth it. Long Shui smiled and gave Xianxia a signal with his eyes. Xianxia took out a storage bag. Inside it was the 76 million kilogram holy stone that he had ordered long ago. When the boss received it, he could not believe it. He actually gave it up just like that. When Xianxia and Long Shui walked out of the private box, as they were walking down the stairs, the others were watching them, and seeing how relaxed they had become, it was obvious that they had already paid the bill. For them to be able to eat so much in one breath, they were definitely not ordinary people. Everyone hurriedly turned their heads, and did not dare look, afraid of angering the two who did not know where they came from. Although the sacred water heavenly realm was very big, there weren't as many people as the sacred grounds. There weren't many such large seabed cities like the heavenly sea city, and the holy man who stood at the entrance suspected that Xianxia and Long Shui were not from the sacred water heavenly realm. This was because there weren't many people like this in the sacred water heavenly realm. Xianxia and Long Shui left the hotel and strolled around the city. There weren't many pill shops in sight. There were quite a few large stores, and they were all only a small part of the total. Normally, not many people would buy them because they were very expensive. Little Pearl, look at the depths of the sacred water heavenly realm sea. Can this deep sea develop immortal medicines or holy medicines? Have you seen any immortal medicines or holy medicines in the deep sea before? Xianxia asked about the pearls in the ring. He looked around at the pill shops and realized that the herbs were also purchased here, but they were rarely sold. There were so few alchemists here, why did they still purchase medicinal herbs? Xianxia suspected that there was someone here who would purchase high-grade medicine ingredients at a very low price before going to another sky to sell them, or go to another sky to request alchemists to refine pills. Although the pills here were expensive, there were still people who could buy them and earn a lot of holy stones. If they were to often see people doing business in the heaven realm, they would definitely think of this. This kind of deep-sea environment is much better than 9-spirit heavenly seas. There must be deep-sea medicinal herbs. I've met them before and they were all eaten by me. Are those medicinal herbs suitable for concocting pills? She was extremely surprised when she found out that Xianxia was a high-level Dan Immortal. Of course, Xianxia did not ask about the price of these medicinal herbs. If he were to use these deep-sea medicinal herbs to refine pills, the pills he would refine would be self-made. In order to allow people to live on the surface of the sea, This place had also simulated black and white clothing during the day. It was already getting darker by the day, so Xianxia and Long Shui found an inn to stay at before they discussed how to take revenge for the old man. We have to steal all of their golden jade fish. There should be thousands of them there, and 100,000 per golden jade fish would be equivalent to hundreds of millions. We have to fill in all the holy stone that we have eaten today. Long Shui said, "The pearls will raise this kind of fish. I will have something to eat in the future." Long Shui had asked Pearl before whether this kind of golden jade fish would really need to be raised for 10,000 years. The Pearl had said that there was no need for it, as long as there was enough Holy Spirit water. There was no need for it to be raised for that long. Xianxia didn't have any plans, because Long Shui had said that he would leave everything to her. Let's talk about the main point. How do you plan on dealing with that pair of brothers? Xianxia asked. Capture them first, but you have to be very clever in capturing them. Don't let them find out that they've been captured. Long Shui laughed. Don't worry. I had already thought about this a long time ago. I will give them an illusion and then lock them in your demon god suppressing pagoda. You'll have to release them in the future. Xianxia didn't know what Long Shui was thinking, but he was extremely interested in this. You and I will impersonate them and then reek of their reputations. In the end, release them and let them experience that feeling as well. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. At the same time, screw up that shop. When it's about time, release those two fellows and let them take the blame. In order to impersonate them more, I still have to use the soul-absorbing devil spell on them to search their memories. Xianxia laughed. Long Shui's plan was not bad, and it was actually quite fun. Deep into the night, the inn was closed. The two brothers stayed in the hotel, but Long Shui and Long Shui did not find the owner. Be careful, there are many saints here. It's best not to alarm them. Long Shui warned Xianxia again that she and Xianxia had already snuck into the hotel. Long Shui had scouted the place out before, and now she was bringing Xianxia to the place where the two brothers slept. They slept in two separate rooms. They are sleeping. It would be best if they were. I will make them sleep even more. When Long Shui came to the bedside of the big brother, although she did not know what method she used, the big brother was still deeply asleep and did not wake up no matter how Long Shui kicked him. Let's begin. Long Shui smiled at Xianxia. Xianxia used the soul-absorbing devil spell to search the other party's memories, then nodded towards him. He will sleep like this for a long time, so you should put him inside the demon god suppressing pagoda. Next, Long Shui used this method to deal with the other one, and it was very easy for her to succeed. Thus she changed into her big brother's appearance, while Xianxia was his second brother. These two brothers were surnamed Di. Their eldest brother was called Di Wei, and their younger brother was called Di Wu. These two brothers' surname was Di Wei. Their elder brother was called Di Wu. These two brothers had a bad reputation, but their background was very good. Di Wei Di Wu was a Saint Lord and a member of the Yu clan in the Sky Sea City. Their father was once an important figure in the Yu clan, although he was already dead, but his brother's talents were not bad, so they had a pretty high status in the Yu clan. The owner of this hotel was the Yu clan's 9th young master, Yu Chongting. He had earned a lot of holy stone from this hotel and those golden jade fish. No wonder that old man couldn't beat this hotel. Long Shui became Di Wei. Model Di Wei's voice said. Xianxia and Long Shui knew the art of transformation, and with Di Wei and Di Wu's memories, there would be no flaws in impersonating them. You really have mastered the methods of that golden jade fish. Xianxia sent a sound transmission to Long Shui. You better not reveal anything. Don't worry, it's just making a few fishes. I will. Long Shui laughed and said, I will go practice tomorrow, but we will mainly disgrace the name of the inn and Di Wei Di Wu, making sure that Yu clan's 9th young master cannot continue to earn holy stone S because of this. At dawn, Long Shui and Xianxia would go to the pond in the backyard to fish, and then try to cook that delicious golden jade fish in the secret kitchen. Xianxia had to admit that, in terms of food, Long Shui was extremely talented. She had been extremely serious when she had secretly learnt it. The moment she started, she had already made it seem like she was pretending. The taste was almost there, At least he could not taste anything different from before. Long Shui did more than 20 of them consecutively, and Xianxia had tasted every single one before. They all tasted pretty good. He only needed to taste a few of them, and the remaining would be left to Long Shui to settle. Originally, Xianxia was still a little nervous, afraid that he would be discovered, but when Yu Chongting walked in, he anxiously said, "There will be some big figures coming to eat the fish later. You must make sure to cook well for me." "What big shot?" Long Shui asked. The fifth young master of the North City's Lin family, after hearing about the mysterious woman yesterday, he decided to come and see if he can meet her and then eat her conveniently. He knew that the golden jade fish was delicious, but he and I had some conflicts, so he must be very picky right now. "Don't give him a reason to start a fight," Yu Chongting said to Xianxia, and in a serious tone. Yu Chongting was overjoyed. She did not expect the opportunity to present itself at her doorstep so quickly. "This is great. The unlucky bastard appeared so quickly." Long Shui sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. "We just need to wait here for the Lin family's fifth young master." Xianxia asked, "Prepare what?" "Hehe, just watch. We will soon be able to avenge that old grandpa." Long Shui took out a small black bottle and waved it in front of Xianxia. "What the hell is this?" Just as Long Shui wanted to answer, Yu Chongting hurried in and shouted, "The Lin family's fifth young master is here. These are his orders. You all must prepare well. Don't let him find trouble." "Boss, don't worry. It's been so many years. Do you still not believe in our strength?" Long Shui smiled very confidently, which immediately made Yu Chongting feel a lot more at ease. Yu Chongting nodded his head. "Then the Lin family's fifth young master will always be opposing me tit for tat. I do not wish for him to cause trouble here. I won't disturb you guys. Do your job well." Yu Chongting handed the menu over to Xianxia and left in a hurry. Long Shui looked at the menu and said disdainfully, "Just a little bit, and you still want to curry favor with me? Since this guy hates Yu Chongting so much, I will give him a chance, and give him a chance to take action." Xianxia laughed. "What is in that black bottle? Did you kill him?" "Ga." Long Shui laughed sinisterly. Both Yu Chongting and the Lin family's fifth young master were definitely going to be in for a lot of trouble. This is a type of thing that can make golden jade fish suffer a lot. It's extremely powerful, so much so that people can't even open their eyes from the pain. Even the saints are unable to hold back. Haha. Xianxia watched from the side as Long Shui made golden jade fish. When she put in the poison, she felt that it was a bit of a waste for these golden jade fish. Long Shui made a few different golden jade fish very quickly. Although she had added something, it did not affect the smell, and it would not be seen by others. Even if she ate it, it would not flare up for a while. After these golden jade fish had been carried away, Long Shui sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. "Let's go to the fishery together, and take away all the golden jade fish inside." She had Xianxia use his spatial power and bring the sleeping Di Weidou back to his room. Then, she directly teleported to the bottom of the fishery and captured all the golden jade fish in the pond. In order to not be discovered so quickly, Long Shui used his transformation technique to turn some of the stones into golden jade fish and roamed around the fish farm. After finishing everything, Long Shui laughed. "Come, let's go to the Golden Jade Inn to watch the show." Long Shui returned to his original appearance. Just like yesterday, he entered the Golden Jade Inn with Xianxia. When they entered the hotel, Xianxia saw that it was still quiet, so he sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. "Are the things you added useful?" "Of course it's useful. Just watch and see. It will take effect very soon. I've already calculated everything." Long Shui and Xianxia had already reached the third floor, but at this moment, they suddenly heard some noises upstairs. Long Shui immediately became excited and used the Heaven Tour method to send a sound transmission to Xianxia. "Hurry up and use the Heaven Tour method to see what is happening." Xianxia's sole thought had always been on top of it. So at this moment, a private room's door was wide open, and waves of painful groans came out. On the ground beside a large round table, a blue-clothed man had both hands covering his stomach as he howled. This man was the Lin clan's fifth young master. Yu Chongting had already rushed over, His face was covered in perspiration. He had already warned him 1,000 times, but such a thing still happened. Xianxia and Long Shui arrived at the 5th floor and headed towards the private room. At that moment, all of the customers in the 5th floor were alarmed by the voice and walked over to take a look. What's going on? How can someone just quietly eat when it's so noisy? Isn't this the Lin clan's 5th young master? What happened? Was he poisoned? Everyone began to discuss with one another. I've been poisoned. I've been poisoned when I ate here, Long Shui said as he frowned, causing everyone to be shocked. They immediately surrounded Yu Chongting, the boss. The Lin clan's 5th young master, who was in great pain, suddenly sucked in a deep breath. Judging from his expression, the pain had lessened significantly and he was gradually recovering. This thing of mine is only giving me a little bit of pain. It will be fine very soon, Long Shui whispered to Xianxia as she giggled. The Lin family's 5th young master was able to sit up by himself. His face was very pale and looked as if he was fine. His face was pale from the pain and he was currently filled with anger. The crowd quickly retreated, worried that he would suddenly make a move. Yu Chongting, how are you? What exactly is inside this golden jade fish? The voice of the Lin clan's 5th young master quivered in anger. This, impossible, for many years our golden jade fish never had any problems. You must be trying to frame me. Previously, when Yu Chongting saw the Lin family's 5th young master's pained expression, he was so flustered that he did not think about it too much. However, now that he thought about it, if there really was a problem with the golden jade fish, his shop would have collapsed long ago. In the past, nothing had happened to Lin family's 5th young master the moment he arrived. Yu Chongting thought that he was going to get hurt intentionally. Didn't you know from a single bite? That kind of thing is not extremely poisonous, but it can make people feel excruciating pain. If you dare to try it, don't try. The Lin family's 5th young master pointed at the remaining 2 basins of fish on the table. Yu Chongting laughed coldly. Maybe you put something down yourself. In order to calm the crowd, Yu Chongting said to the rest of the people, everyone, this Lin family's 5th young master, and I have a personal grudge. This is a matter that everyone knows. Our golden jade fish has no problems. He was the one who framed us. At this time, Xianxia said, that may not be true. There is a shop on the surface of the water that specializes in selling golden jade fish. Back then, there was also an incident that caused a large group of people to be poisoned. That's right. I remember that old man saying that he was wrongly accused. His disciple framed him, but no one believed him. Have those 2 cooks come over and ask them if they know soon. Long Shui said coldly, I ate quite a bit yesterday. If there's really a problem, you have to return the holy stone to me. Hearing Long Shui's words, everyone followed him and shouted, because they had all eaten golden jade fish before. Xianxia had searched the memories of Di Wei and Di Wu before. Because of their bad reputation, Yu Chongting didn't dare to let them meet with the crowd. Otherwise, it would affect the reputation of this hotel. If he called Di Wei and Di Wu out now, it would be even harder to explain. Wait a moment. I'll go get the chef right now. Yu Chongting anxiously took out a piece of communication jade symbol paper to send a message. At that moment, Di Wu suddenly pushed his way through the crowd. Boss, why did you call us over? Dewey shouted. Xianxia knew that it was definitely arranged by Long Shui. It was impossible for Yu Chongting to call the 2 notorious people, Di Wei Di Wu, here, and Yu Chongting must have long trained them to be his substitutes. However, he never expected that Di Wei Di Wu would actually come here. Long Shui had expected that Yu Chongting would find 2 bodies to confront the others. So she controlled Di Weido to come over. It was because she had cast an illusion on Di Weido that was able to control their minds. You all? Yu Chongting was dumbstruck. He did not have the chance to finish asking, as Xianxia quickly asked, You are the chefs in charge of making golden jade fish. It's us, so what? Dewey said. Your golden jade fish is poisonous. Do you guys have left anything behind? Tell me honestly. A middle-aged man beside the Lin clan's 5th young master suddenly appeared beside Di Wei in a flash. He directly grabbed Di Wei's shoulder and asked ferociously, Boss, Didn't you say that everything would be fine? Dewey said hurriedly, in pain. Of course, all of these were things that Long Shui controlled him to say. Diwu said, Boss, last time, we let go of that powerless old guy. But this time we are dealing with the Lin family's fifth young master. You are harming us. Di Wei and Di Wu's words made Yu Chongting dumbfounded. He stood there stunned. This kind of sudden impact made him feel like his world had completely collapsed. It had to be said that Yu Chongting's reaction was fast. Seeing that the situation was not good for him, he quickly rushed out of the roof and escaped. Di Wei and Di Wu had already been captured by the fifth young master of the Lin family. As for Yu Chongting, he would definitely not meet a good end. Humph, Yu Chongting belongs to the Yu clan. We will go there and ask for compensation. Someone shouted. Anyone who could eat on the fifth floor had a higher status. With regards to the compensation, Long Shui and Xianxia would not go and join in on the fun. The old man had already avenged his grudge, and even cleared his name, so it wouldn't be long before the old man's shop became lively again. Long Shui got a lot of golden jade fish and contentedly cooked in the serene jade ring. Those small golden jade fish would be selected by the pearls and raised. Xianxia had already changed his appearance. He was still in the heavenly sea city, inquiring everywhere about the vermilion bird. Using a 1,000,000-kilogram holy stone to issue a bounty, he managed to obtain a lot of clues in just a few days. There are many rumors that the vermilion bird is in the deepest part of sacred water heavenly realm. There is a piece of the life forest there, and the vermilion bird is hidden within. Other than that, Xianxia also received many maps to the life forest. That place must be a very dangerous place. No matter how dangerous it was, he would definitely go there because he needed to find Dongfang Xinyue. The revival of the vermilion bird requires a large amount of life energy. It seems like she is very likely in life forest. Long Shui asked. Wait until I organize the route. Although there is a map, it doesn't mark the city. I need to know how many big cities with transmission array on the surface of the water so that I can get there quickly. Xianxia had never been there, so he could not teleport there directly. He could only advance a little, so he needed a more complete map. Fortunately, he had many holy stone. As long as he took some out, he could make many people do things for him. In just a few days' time, he had organized a map of the sacred water heavenly realm. Life forest is actually in the periphery area. I thought they were in the middle. I didn't think that the sacred water heavenly realm's edge would be so deep. Xianxia looked at the map and sighed. I don't know if Warm Moon has found the vermilion bird, but even if she could, she would have suffered a lot on the way here. He blamed himself. He did not give Dongfang Xinyue any holy stone back then. Otherwise, she would have been much more relaxed here. Definitely, she's extremely intelligent. Moreover, there's a connection between her and the vermilion bird, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find her. Long Shui said. In the past few days, Sky Sea City was bustling with noise and excitement. The Lin family had been looking for Yu Chongting everywhere, and because of Yu Chongting, the Yu family had often been disturbed by people. All of this was caused by Yu Chongting himself. When he was framing others, he definitely did not expect that he would have such a day. Xianxia left Sky Sea City and came to the surface of the sea. Before he left, he planned to take a look at that old man with Long Shui and have another taste of the golden jade fish he made himself. In just a moment, Xianxia went from the deep seas to the surface of the sea, wearing the shoes that could walk on the water surface. Stepping on the seawater, he headed towards the old man's shop. In order to prevent others from saying that he had poisoned the food, the old man did not need to fear that his skills would leak out. He directly cooked the golden jade fish, and many people came here to eat, all for the sake of the endless aftertaste, to chat with a group of friends and eat. Since the price was not expensive, it was very lively. It was unlike the Golden Jade Inn. Although there were quite a few people, they were all aristocrats and lacked the usual bustle. When Long Shui came out of the ring, she and Xianxia had changed into other appearances, so as to not be recognized and cause trouble for the elders. However, they were both wearing shoes given to them by the elders. The old man saw their shoes and immediately recognized them, but he didn't say much and only looked gratefully at Xianxia and Long Shui. He obviously knew that the lesson Yu Chongting and his two disciples had received was only because of the help of the two mysterious people in front of him. There were a lot of golden jade fish here, so it was very easy to catch them. Therefore, they were very cheap and were not as expensive as the golden jade fish. The people who came to eat were all just preparing their own wine. Xianxia and Long Shui were the same. They patiently waited for the elder to serve the dishes because there were a lot of people they needed to line up. At night, the number of people lessened, but Long Shui and Xianxia were still here. Long Shui was unwilling to leave and continued to eat. "Old Grandpa, are you going to drive late at night as well?" Long Shui asked with her greasy little mouth. "If you want to eat until dawn, I'll be there." The old man knew that Xianxia and Long Shui were trying to hide their identities, so he didn't talk much with them. Long Shui laughed. "Then give me another 50. "All right, I'll be there right away." The old man chuckled. Just as the old man arrived at the stove, a slightly chubby middle-aged man suddenly appeared at the door. Behind him were two menacing men. It was actually Yu Chongting and Diwei Diwu. They were forced to leave the Sky Sea City, and seeing the old man's shop being so lively, they wanted to vent their anger here. It was not unexpected that Yu Chongting was able to escape, but the two Diwei and Diwu brothers should have been captured, and now they appeared together with Yu Chongting. Before entering, Yu Chongting had already scanned the people inside the shop, and realized that the strongest was only a holy lord, so he was very relieved to have entered with Di Weido. Xianxia could not tell at all. He did not notice that there was someone stronger than him who dared to come in and cause trouble, so he vented his anger on the old man. Yu Chongting and Diwei Diwu could no longer stay in Sky Sea City. Diwei Diwu, who knew how to cook golden jade fish, was Yu Chongting's tool to earn holy stone. Yu Chongting was not stupid, he knew Diwei Diwu very well. He knew that they would definitely not do such a stupid thing. After that, he had talked to Diwei Diwu to prove his idea, that Diwei Diwu had been controlled by someone else with a very clever method. Even they themselves didn't know what was going on. With their current strength, it was not an easy feat for them to escape the Sky Sea City. Could be seen how capable Yu Chongting was. "My good master, your business is not bad." Diwei Yin sneered and said, "We just collapsed and you already started fighting with us. Did you invite some expert to fight back against us?" Yu Chongting grabbed onto the old man's collar fiercely and shouted, "If you tell the person who plotted against me about it, I will spare your life. If not, I will let you live a life worse than death." When Long Shui saw that Yu Chongting and Diwei Diwu had appeared, she knew what would happen. She slammed her hand on the table and said angrily, "Let go of old Grandpa. I was the one who did this. Didn't you want to find me? Just come at me." When she spoke, she had changed back to her original appearance. Seeing her face, Yu Chongting's expression became extremely ugly. However, his shop had been destroyed by Long Shui, so he had to take revenge today no matter what. "Damned girl, so it was you. Today, I will skin you alive." Diwu's face was filled with anger as he roared at Long Shui. Just as he finished shouting, he noticed that Xianxia had disappeared. Ah! After Xianxia disappeared, he suddenly appeared beside Yu Chongting. In his hand was a black dagger, which cut off Yu Chongting's arm, causing him to scream miserably. As a member of the Yu clan, and also because he had made a lot of holy stone with the help of the Golden Jade restaurant for many years, and also got the attention of the Yu clan, Yu Chongting was not weak in the slightest. However, his arm was cut off in the blink of an eye, which could only mean that the person who cut off his arm was much stronger than him. Seeing that Xianxia was so powerful, Yu Chongting and the other two were extremely afraid. The imposing aura that they sensed from the fierce, evil barbarian just now had disappeared, and their legs were already trembling. "Originally, I only wanted you all to receive a lesson, but your deaths have not changed. It seems that I have to give you all an even more painful lesson." The three people in front of Xianxia were like ants. He took out the demon god's suppressing pagoda and stored the three of them inside, making them suffer and kill them immediately. If he did that, it would be letting them off too easily. She and Xianxia bade farewell to the old man and quickly left, bringing trouble to the old man in the future. Leaving the floating city, Xianxia followed the route he had plotted and headed to the next floating city. In the sacred water heavenly realm, generally speaking, only those cities like the one in the depths of Hades could be considered the strongest city because it was not easy to build such a city. However, the surface city that Xianxia was going to next could be said to be the largest city in Sacred Water Heavenly Realm. It was because there were a lot of transmission arrays above it. If he wanted to go to other cities, he would usually go to this city for a transition. Elder Brother Shin, I have finally learned how to refine peacock powder. These days, Kong Bailing had been focusing on refining these peacock powder. Chun Xiang had only placed his experiences into an inheritance orb for Kong Bailing to learn on his own. Kong Bailing was able to use decent flame, and it was enough to create peacock powder, but he was not as proficient in it as Chun Xiang. Pill refining is indeed very difficult. It is only because I have a very deep understanding of my own feathers that it is very easy to refine the peacock powder. Lamented. Because she asked for some low-level immortal pills from Long Shui, she tried to concoct some immortal pills, but failed in an instant. Long Shui laughed. Being able to refine peacock powder is good enough. In terms of refining pills, this little scoundrel is enough. Kong Bailing passed the refined peacock powder over to Chun Xiang. When using this kind of transparent powder, it was difficult to imagine that it was something that only existed within Super Old Poison S for a long time. Chun Xiang followed the map and conducted the phase of spatial travel. After several days, he finally arrived at the largest city on the water surface, the floating city. The large and small buildings of this city were all neatly arranged, and one could see a very neat waterway. It was unlike the messy city from before. The streets of the city were filled with water, and they were very wide, causing the streets to be filled with boats. Of course, there were also some people who wore special shoes, allowing them to walk on the surface of the water. The Sacred Water Heavenly Realm surface cities were not everywhere because only a specific place could construct these cities. These places were usually free of wind and waves. Even if there were strong winds or waves in other places, when they charged here they would be stopped. And these waves were a natural force because of this place's natural barrier. It was suitable to build these cities. Without the protection of this natural power, there were too many storms in Sacred Water Heavenly Realm. Even if a city like this could be built every day, it wouldn't be able to withstand the storm. Chun Xiang put on his specially made shoes and walked on the water's surface. While walking towards the place set up by the transmission array, and listening to the idle chatter of others, he could hear many interesting stories about the Sacred Water Heavenly Realm. As expected of the largest city in the Sacred Water Heavenly Realm, there is actually a Tier 6 immortal pill like the Luyuan Azure Dan. However, it's still too expensive, actually selling for 50 million kilograms of holy stone per pellet. Chun Xiang passed by a pill shop, went in to see, and this made him suddenly want to refine some pills here to sell. As long as he sold them at half the price, he would earn a lot. However, he did not lack holy stone S right now, and there were no immortal medicines that he wanted to buy. Actually, there are more holy stone in the water than on the land, especially this Sacred Water Heavenly Realm. Because the difficulty of mining the holy stone is very high, a large number of them are only controlled by a small number of forces. Pearl said, "When I was at the bottom of Nine Spirit Heavenly Sea all those years ago, I had encountered a large-scale holy stone mine, but it was then occupied by the Super Holy School. This Super Holy School will not be for long." Clenched his fists. Super Holy School was currently a great threat. If he could stay in the sacred region and then focus on attacking Dtion, the consequences would be dire. This stone tower could absorb the energy from the deep sea. For example, this kind of place that could build a city on the surface of the sea usually had a very powerful energy source at the bottom. For example, the Heavenly Sea City was built at the bottom in order to absorb the energy more directly. Chun Xiang entered the stone tower. There were a lot of people inside, but this was the teleportation station for many different cities in Sacred Water Heavenly Realm. It was not strange for there to be a lot of people. Therefore, on the first floor of the stone tower, there were no transmission arrays, only many small shops. There was a dense flow of people here, and the shops were also very expensive. Chun Xiang was at the stairs on the second floor when he suddenly saw a portrait depicting a beautiful and charming woman. "Warm moon," Chun Xiang shouted in his heart, and then he looked carefully at the words beside the portrait. It was actually a bounty. 500 million holy stone is not low either, Long Shui said, and directly taking her life as well. Just what did this little girl Warm Moon come to the Sacred Water Heavenly Realm for? There was no reason on the bounty, it just said that as long as he could prove that he killed the woman in the portrait, he could come to Ho Clan to collect the 500 million gene holy stone. To be able to post such a bounty in such an eye-catching location, it required quite a few holy stone. To be able to place a bounty on so many holy stone, it must not be a simple task. Why is the Ho Clan giving rewards to the Warm Moon Girl? Xianxia planned to not go to the Life Forest for the time being. He had to find out what Dongfang Xinyue did here to actually make the Ho Clan bid 500 million to buy her life. As expected of your slave, she's like you, being hunted all day long. Long Shui chuckled. The bounty is still in here, and the price is so high, which means that Warm Moon Girls are not easy to deal with. Yes, but if she hides, it will be even harder to find her. Xianxia looked at the bounty, and his eyes suddenly lit up. That's right. Ho Clan used a 500 million gene holy stone to bounty on her. It means that she is already rather famous. I will bounty her with an even higher price, then leave a secret mark on the bounty, telling her that it was I who posted it, so she will come find me herself. After Xianxia thought about it, he looked around at his surroundings. He realized that there was a Water Instant Towers management office. The stone tower that was concentrated with transmission arrays was called the Water Instant Tower. If I want to post a notice here, I should be going there to get it. Xianxia made Long Shui take out a piece of paper and draw a portrait of Dongfang Xinyue. The reward offered was to capture her alive while the contact person was Shin Dafei. Make it a bit more. It'll stick to the whole city, right? With the help of and the pearl, he quickly made hundreds of them. Xianxia entered the Water Instantaneous Tower Management System and saw a few old people inside. May I ask how many holy stone are requested by the notice? Xianxia walked in and asked directly. Where should I place it? An old man looked at Xianxia and continued to busy himself with his work as he organized and posted all the orders. The most expensive and most conspicuous place. The holy stone is not a problem. Xianxia said. This was a big client. Anyone who could say something like this would be asking for a reward, and it was something very urgent. Such a fellow, if he didn't kill him now, it would be a waste not to do so. The old man immediately revealed a smile on his face. If you want to let people know quickly, we have a set of dishes here. Not only will it be posted in the flowing water tower, it will also be posted in a conspicuous place in the entire floating city, in 4 hours. We expect it to be completed in 3 days, and we expect it to have the desired effect. How many holy stone? Xianxia asked. This is exactly what I need. 100,000 kilograms of holy stone will last for a day. If you publish it 10 days in a row, we will only accept you as much as 800,000 kilograms of holy stone. If there is no effect, we will return it all to you. The old man said. That should be enough. Xianxia took out the bounty token that Long Shui had made and gave it to the old man. Seeing Xianxia take out the bounty for the 800 million gene holy stone, the old man secretly chided himself for being a little more cunning just now and gave Xianxia a discount. Yes, but that is to say, you need to prove that you have 800 million kilograms of holy stone. Otherwise, if we were to pursue the matter further, our flowing water tower will be implicated as well. The old man said. The few elders in the office were all very curious about Dongfang Xinyue's background. Previously, the Ho clan had already offered 500 million, but this time, someone had offered 800 million to capture her alive. Xianxia took out a storage bag and passed it to the old man. Check it. This is my holy stone. The few old men used their divine intents to check the mountain of holy stone inside the storage bag. There was a total of 1 billion gene of them, which were all earned by Xianxia when he was selling the Luyuan Azure Dan previously. These few old men were all very uncomfortable. They hated themselves for not offering an exorbitant price. With this many holy stone s, even if they killed tens of millions of his holy stone s, they would not bargain. There are 800,000 kilograms of holy stone here. 10 days first. Xianxia took out a stack of papers and asked, How many do you need? 1,000. If you don't have that many, we will help you seal them. These are all in the 800,000 gene range. The old man took the stack of papers from Xianxia's hand. Xianxia was secretly shocked. He actually wanted to post 1,000 of these. He felt that his 800,000 kilograms of holy stone were worth it. This is my contact number. I'll be in the city for the next 10 days. If anyone comes looking for you, send me a message. Xianxia gave a piece of communication jade symbol paper to the old man. Can you tell me where the Ho clan is? Xianxia asked again. You don't know about Ho clan. He could tell that the Ho clan was very famous here. I don't know. The old man had a strange look in his eyes. If he didn't know about Ho clan, then he was most likely from outside. Moreover, Xianxia had so many holy stone. If it was inside sacred water heavenly realm, he must have heard of Ho clan. This Ho clan is one of the 3 water hegemons of the sacred water heavenly realm, and the place they are mainly controlling is the life forest. There is no need to talk about their overall strength, it's extremely strong. They are also distributed here, and our floating city is controlled by one of the 3 water hegemons, so our relationship with the Ho clan is pretty good. The old man said. Xianxia nodded. So that's how it is. I don't know how I can meet with their Ho clan. I want to know if their goal is the same as mine. The old man laughed. There is no need for you to go find them. As long as we release this, they will quickly come to find you. You must have just arrived here. If you have a place to stay, there is a floating life inn beside the flowing water tower. You can go and rest there. At that time I will have the people from Ho clan look for you there.